Here we go, Erev Tov. Just had the Sheva Brachot of Ze'ev and Leah Mazal Tov. Still going on the recording, you know what I'm saying? We are doing today Daf Tet Amud Bet, but we're starting at Tet Amud Aleph, 9a, 5 lines up from the bottom. Man Tana. So, if you remember the Mishnah, the latter part of the Mishnah was Kenidrik Ksherim. If a person says, I'm making a neder like the kosher people make Nedarim. It's as if he said nothing. Because kosher people don't make Nedarim. They don't want to be stuck with, I made a neder, and then Chas Shalom, they don't end up doing the neder. So, kasher people, we saw them run already, they don't like to make Nedarim. So if you say, I'm making a neder like the ksherim, it's like you said nothing. But, kenidvotam, the nidava, the donation of the ksherim, that works. But it works for Nazir and Korban. It works for Nazir and Korban. Okay, so the Gemara says, Man Tana, the Shanile ben Neder le-Nedava. Who is the Tana that differentiates between Neder and Nedava? Between an oath and a donation. Who's that Tana that makes this differentiation? Says the Gemara, Lema lo Rabbi Meir velo Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara doesn't have someone that does say like our Mishnah, but rather the Gemara says, let us exclude two Tanaim. Let us exclude Rabbi Meir and exclude Rabbi Yehuda. Why are we going to exclude Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda? So, we're going to say the following. So, we're about to bring a pasuk from Kohelet, and actually the Ran is going to show us that there's a pasuk prior to this pasuk, and there's really three statements that the Gemara is going to deal with. And the first pasuk, we'll see in the Ran also, the pasuk says in Kohelet, Et asher tidor shalem. That you make a vow on, make sure to pay it up. And then the pasuk the Gemara is going to quote is Tov shelo tidor. But it's good not to make a neder. Mishitidor velo teshalem. Because you might make a neder and not pay. So there's three statements over here, and there's going to be a machlok because Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir as to what is the main statement. Again, three statements is Et asher tidor shalem. When you make a neder, pay the neder. Tov shelo tidor, but better not to make a neder. Mishtidor velo teshalem, because you make a neder and not pay. So what is the ikar? We're going to see, basically it's between 1 and 2. Et asher tidor shalem, make a neder and pay back, or better not to make a neder. Let's see what the opinions are. So the Gemara says, Lema lo Rabbi Meir velo Rabbi Yehuda. This is not like Rabbi Meir and not like Rabbi Yehuda. Why? The Tanya says in a Braita. This Braita is from Masechet Chulin, right at the beginning, Daf Bet Amud Aleph. Tov asher lo tidor. It brings the pasuk that it's good not to make a neder. Says the Gemara, this is we're going to see it's Rabbi Meir. Tov mizeh umizeh. When it says over here Tov, that is better than this one and that one. That is the best of the three. Tov shelo tidor. That is the best of the three. She'enu noder kol ikar divrei Rabbi Meir. Says Rabbi Meir, from these statements of Shlomo Melech and Kohelet, it's best not to make a nederim at all. Tov shelo tidor. So, meaning the pasuk started with et asher tidor shalem. If you made a neder, pay it up. Aval, you know what's better? Tov shelo tidor. You know why it's better not to make any oath? Because you make an oath and not pay. So what's Shlomo Melech teaching us? Which one is it? Says Rabbi Meir, it's Tov shelo tidor. But we see from here as well, if not to make a neder at all, a nedava is also like a neder. If I'm making a neder to make a nedava, I'm donating this. It's like a neder also. So Rabbi Meir doesn't make a difference in neder and nedava. It's across the board. Don't make any of these oaths. And therefore Rabbi Meir is not like our Mishnah, because our Mishnah makes a difference between neder and nedava. So Rabbi Meir is not like our Mishnah. Let's take a look at the Ran. 6 lines up on the bottom, where it says Tov mizeh umizeh she'enu noder kol ikar. Min noder u'meshalem uminoder ve'enu meshalem. Deleel mehaikra, because the pasuk prior to this pasuk that's quoted in the Gemara, Ktiv et asher tidor shalem, the pasuk that I quoted you. When you make a neder, make sure to pay it back. Ubatarachi, after that, ktiv tov asher lo tidor. It says, better not to make a neder. Klomar, is it to say, shehu yoter tov, min noder u'mishalem. It's better to not make a neder than being a person that you make a neder and you pay. Tichtiv le'el mineh. It's better than what's said earlier. V'kayav ta'ama le'milteh, b'shetidor v'lo teshalem. And it brings a reason to why it's better not to make a neder. Klomar, shema tishkach v'lo teshalem. Because you might forget, you might not pay. And therefore, tov asher lo tidor kalal. Better not to make a neder at all. Mashmalan, you can infer from here. Hash lo shani ben neder l'nedava. There's no difference according to Rabbi Meir between neder and nedava. Di lo lashmoinan kara de tov mikulan nodev u'meshalem. It should have said maybe list nodev in that. Oh, don't make a neder, but you can make a nedava. No, it says don't tov shelo tidor like at all. So according to Rabbi Meir, the main of the three is Tov Shelo Tidor. Rabbi Yehuda argues, 2 lines up from the bottom. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Tov Mizeh Mizeh Noder Meshalem. You know what's the best out of these 3 statements? It's be a person that's Noder and Meshalem. That you do a Neder, but you pay up exactly what you said. Let's see the run. The bottom, 3 lines up from the bottom. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Tov Mizeh Mizeh. The best one is Noder Mishalem. V'darish lehu lekrai hachi. This is how the Rabbi Yehuda is doresh these psukim. Et asher tidor shalem. That you made a neder on, pay it. V'zohi midah meshubachat. That is the highest level. That you made a neder and you paid it back. Avatov asher lo tidor meshetidor v'lo teshalem. But better not to make any neder if you're going to make a neder and not pay back. It's best to make a neder and pay, but better not to make a neder if you're not going to pay back.
What about not make a neder and pay?
What are you paying for?
Yeah, it's not donated.
No, you're not doing it. You just
You can, but there is no neder.
yeah. There's no okay, but that's not in the story of Nedarim. Right? That's not in the story of Nedarim.
But when you say payment, are you referring to actually fulfill?
Yeah, to fulfill the neder. I mean, that's what it means. Payment means fulfill the neder.
Is it fulfilling a neder mitzvah haseh?
Oh, excellent. Is fulfilling a neder a mitzvah? We're going to see. That's what he's getting to. So, Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is the midah mishubachat is make a neder and pay it. Because it's better not to make a neder than make a neder and not pay. So that's how he learns the psukim. So he holds the best is make a neder and pay. V'item a pshita. You might say, like, okay, that's obvious. Make a neder and pay. What's better than it's because it's good not to make neder if you're going to make a neder and not pay. That's obvious. Hachikamar. Lo tehes savur. Don't think. This addresses your point, Joey. Very good. Don't think shebeshat nidrecha ata mosif zechut. Don't think when I make a neder, oh, I'm adding a zechut to myself because making a neder in the Torah is nedarim. So maybe I make a neder and now I made a zechut on myself. No. Ve'achar kach im shachachta o ne'enasta lo ifsat escharecha. Don't think that okay, if I make a neder, I get a zechut because I made a neder, and if I forgot or accidentally I didn't fulfill the neder, I didn't lose my zechut shenadarti, my zechut that I did a neder. No, that's not. Enoken. She'en aschar b'shat neder. The reward is not when you make a neder. There's no reward at that point. Ela b'shat tashlumim. Ken nireh shita zo b'enai. When's the reward? When you pay back. Meaning, Torah, there's a concept of nedarim. You want a zechut? Oh, I fulfilled my neder? Because the Torah says, whatever comes out of your mouth, pay back. What's the pasuk? What's the actual word of the pasuk? Motzes sefatecha tishmor. I think it is. What comes out of your mouth, make sure to guard it, make sure to do. And therefore, where do you get the reward? Not when I made a neder. Right? So it's not a mitzvah to make a neder. But it's a mitzvah if you made a neder and fulfilled it. Then you get a mitzvah. So you might say, oh, maybe it's a good to make a neder on its own. And even if haya ones or accidentally I forgot, I still get a zechut making a neder. No. Tov shelo tidor, mishetidor velo teshalem. Because you might think, oh, maybe I'll get a zechut for making a neder. No. But the achim meshubachat, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is making a neder and meshalem. According to Rabbi Meir, tov shelo tidor, better. Even though it's a zechut, yes, you will get a zechut. He probably agrees that you get a zechut if you make a neder and meshalem. but he's probably too worried that you might forget. Therefore, it's better not to make any neder. That's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi doesn't know the best ideal is make a neder and pay it, and then that's the highest level. So
That makes sense because a nether is not finished until it's complete.
yeah, until you pay it,
Making a
until you
nether
do it.
could never be the mitzvah. The mitzvah is
The end part, right? So now says the Gemara. Okay, we could squeeze. So now Rabbi Yehuda is also, by the way, not like our Mishnah. Why not? Because Rabbi Yehuda says that the highest level is make a neder and meshalem. So he holds neder and nedava. Even ksherim should make a neder. We just said our Mishnah ksherim don't make nedarim. According to Rabbi Yehuda, lo adarava ksherim tasu nedarim. Make sure to pay back, but do nedarim. So Rabbi Yehuda is also not like a Mishnah. So now today's Gemara is going to be we could fit in Rabbi Meir. And then next week, we're not going to have a shiur on Sunday. We're going to have a shiur Tuesday on the full daf, Hashem, in a week. And that Gemara is going to be, we could even fit in Rabbi Yehuda. Today is about Rabbi Meir. This is the Gemara. Afilu tema Rabbi Meir. No, you could even fit in Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir who said better not to make any neder at all. Kike amar Rabbi Meir ben neder. Ben nedava lo kamar. Rabbi Meir, when he says don't make nedarim, it's only nedarim. Nedava, he says no, you can make a nedava. Ve'achiltani, said ask the Gemara, ve'aketani kenidvotam nadar benazir bekorban. Hold on a second. The Gemara says when ksherim make a nedava, they're making a neder benazir bekorban. The nedava is like a neder. But it's using the lashon neder by nedava. Rabbi Meir, you don't want neder kol ikar. You said no nederim at all. Says the Gemara, Tani nadav benaziru bekorban. That it says nadar benaziru bekorban, even by nedava is an echshav neder. Says the Gemara, no, tichtov nadav benaziru bekorban. So Rabbi Meir really is saying there's a difference in neder and nedava. Neder, don't make nedarim. Nedava, it's okay. But nedava is also kind of a neder. We said, kenidvotam nadar benazir bekorban. So the Gemara changed nadar to nadav. Kenidvotam nadav benazir bekorban. So it says the Gemara, 3 lines down from the bottom. 3 lines down from the top. Maishna noder delo. The Gemara is going into a little bit deeper. Why not to make a neder? Dilmati le'ditakala. Because you might come to a stumbling block. You might come not to fulfill the neder. Nedavanami lo. Nedava should also not make. Dilma ati bali de katakala. You might come to a takala. Even if you make a nedava, you might come to accidentally not fulfilling it and violate that way. And the Ran points out, because by nedava you also, like it says, a nedava of a korban, you have to pay it within 3 regalim, as we learned. So you could still come to a takala with nedava. Says the Gemara, you know what type of nedava you should make? Like Hillel HaZaken. Ki Hillel HaZaken. The Tanya. It says in the Braita, Amru al Hillel HaZaken. They said about Hillel HaZaken, Shelo ma'al adam be'olato kol yamav. Nobody in the entire lifetime of Hillel HaZaken was able to do me'ilah on the korban olah of Hillel. Me'ilah is when I designate this korban for the Bet HaMikdash. Me'ilah is if I use it for my own use, or anyone uses it for their own use. That's a violation of Me'ilah. Says the Gemara that Hillel HaZaken, no one was able to even make any type of Me'ilah ever on his animal. So how could that be that no one was able to ever make Me'ilah on his animal that he designated for an Olah? Says the Gemara. Why? Mivia keshehi chulin la'azara. He brought the animal, he would bring a korban. He brought the animal still chulin, still a regular animal. Meaning he never said, this animal is a korban. He brought it as a regular animal. And only right before he sacrificed it, he says, this is for a korban. And then he sacrificed it. So no one had a chance, no one could even try to use it for their own usage. And that's the Gemara says.
Designating is also a nether. Because back in the times of Bet HaMikdash, it was very common to designate for Maser and for Korbanot, so they have no choice but to make a neder, or when they're designating.
I don't know if a neder, probably, probably, but they had to designate it as
Yeah.
Ze Korban
So
Olah.
that's another.
I guess.
A
I guess
designation
is
is
that
like you're making something kodesh. You're like
Right.
giving it a kedusha. That
Hekdesh,
neder
yeah.
is like
yeah, I don't know if it's a
you're
neder.
making forcing yourself to do something.
say
If you
it,
don't do it, it becomes like a sin.
Yeah.
No, but we did say you're right. Making things
But you
korban
could
is a
say
form of
something's
a
korban,
promise.
and then it gets there, and then it's not kosher for the korban, so they can't use it as a korban.
Yeah,
You're
then
not-
there's
you're not
different
breaking
rules.
a promise.
Yeah, you're not breaking a promise because you're saying Ze Hekdesh. It still belongs to Hekdesh. Now they could sell it, they make the money
Right.
off of it, whatever it is, but it's still Hekdesh. But you have to designate that this animal is for Korban Olah, for Korban Chatat, before it's offered. So Hillel Zaken want to make sure no one violates it. And also the truth is for himself that if at home he designates it as an Olah, on the way walking there he could use it for his own use, whatever, he didn't want any issue. So therefore, meaning the question was, how could maybe a Nedava as well, it could come to a Takala? So he says, no, if you act like Hillel Zaken, it won't come to a Takala. Why not? Because you bring it right there. Says the Gemara, let's read it again. 5 lines down. Ki Hillel Zaken, Titania, Amru al Hillel Zaken, Shelo ma'al adam be'olato kol yamav. No one ever violated Me'ilah the entire lifetime of Hillel Zaken. Why? Meviyah keshehi chulin la'azara. He brought it when it was still chulin, it was still a regular animal. La'azara. The Ran points out, obviously not into the azara, that would be a violation. You can't bring an animal that is not kadosh, not to place that's kadosh. So azara means the petach azara, right outside. And then what would he do? Umakdisha, he would make it holy. V'somech aleha v'shochta. He would press on it. He would do smicha to the animal. That's consecrating it, pressing on it, and saying like, giving over his sins to it, etc. And then your friend's calling. Okay, recording resumed. All right. So, he would somech alav v'shochta. He would do shechita right away. Fine. Says the Gemara, Hanicha nedava de korbanot. That's understood if it's a donation of a korban. So you could make it chulin the whole time, and at the last moment make kadosh, no one could violate it, and therefore we're not worried that your nedava you could come to a takala. But nedava de nezirut ma'ika lememar. A nedava of nezirut, how does that work out? Now we learned already last time in the run, what's a nedava of nezirut?
Yeah, how can
Right, because it's a neder of Nazirut. Like, and also, once I say, I'm going to be a nedava to be a Nazir, once you're a Nazir, you're a Nazir. That's the same Nazir, because we said there's a difference between neder and nedava when it comes to a korban. We said, if I say, I'm making a neder to bring a korban, that means even if I take this animal, but the animal dies, I still have a neder on me to bring a korban. But if I say, I'm giving this animal as a nedava to the Bet HaMikdash, this animal died, that's it. I don't have to do it anymore. I was only to that animal. So there's a neder and nedava when it comes to korban. What's there's a neder and nedava when it comes to nazirut? So we saw the Ran that explains that it's the kavanah that a person had the right kavanah to be a nazir and not did it for other reasons, whatever it was. So it was like a nedava that it came from. So it's like when a person is nodev, they give from the goodness of their heart, they give with a full heart. So too, he did it for the right reasons, etc. So that's what the Gemara is going to answer, and this is a famous story. So what's a nedava of nezirut? Savarla k'shimon tzaddik. We hold, this is the thinking of a nedava of nezirut is like Shimon tzaddik, who was the Kohen Gadol at the time. The Tanya says in the Braita, Amar Shimon tzaddik, says Shimon tzaddik, miyamai, my entire life, lo achalti asham nazir tameh ela echad. I never ate the asham nazir of a tameh only once. So like this, when a person finishes his nazir process, he has to bring a korban asham. Now, if at that time that he finishes, he is tameh, or if a nazir becomes tameh, they have to bring the asham and they have to redo their nazir because they didn't finish it. They were tameh.
We should redo.
Redo the 30 days. Yeah, they have to, let's say the minimum nazir is 30 days. So guys, I want to be a nazir for 30 days. After 10 days, he becomes tameh. Bring a korban, start again. Keep on happening, right? So says Shimon HaTzadik, I only ate the asham nazir of a tameh nazir only once in my life. Let's see. Pamachat ba adam echad nazir min Nedarim. One time there was a nazir that came to the Bet HaMikdash from the south of Israel. And we're gonna question number one: why does it have to tell us that he came from the south? Well, the Maharsha is going to answer. I'll save it for later. V'rayitiv shu yafeh enayim. I saw this guy had beautiful eyes. V'tov roi, he was a good-looking man. V'kitzvotav sedurot lo taltalim, and the sides of his hair was curls, beautiful curls. Now, also at the end of a nazir process, they cut off all their hair. During the nazir, they can't shave, they can't nothing. End of the nazir process, they shave off everything, whole body hair. So, and also when they restart, so now it's kind of your ending with tameh, but then he's got to restart. So at some point, he's got to cut off his hair. Amarti, I see this guy, good-looking nazir. He came to bring a asham nazir tameh. Amarti, beni, ma ra'ita lashchit et se'archa zeh. Sorry. Yeah. So he said, what did you see to cut off this beautiful hair of yours? Like, you're such a good looking man. Now you're doing nazir and have to cut that off. Like, what's your deal? Marli. This good looking man told me, he says she wants to think, Ro'eh ha'iti le'aba be'iri. I was a shepherd to my father's flock in my city. Now, why does that have to say that he was a shepherd and to his father? We're going to answer all these questions. Halachti lemalot mayim min ha'ma'ayan. I went to go fill up water from the spring. V'nistakalti b'babua sheli, and I saw my reflection. Upachaz ala yitzri. The Yetzer Hara came and jumped on me. Pachaz kamayim, like from revenge, quickly came to me. The Yetzer Hara. Ubikesh letordani min ha'olam, and the Yetzer Hara wanted to get me out of this world, wanted to knock me out. Amarti lo. I mean, you want to tell him, like, you're good looking. What are you wasting your time with being a shepherd? Go do averot, this and that. Amarti lo rasha. I told the Yetzer Hara, says this man to Shimon HaTzadik, and really he's talking to himself because the Yetzer Hara is inside. He said to him, Rasha, lama ta mitga'eh ba'olam she'eno shelcha. Why are you being haughty in a world that's not yours? Meaning, you Yetzer Hara, you're talking about my body. Why you, the body, are getting excited about a world that's not yours? You're going to end up being a worm in the ground. Ha'avodah, that's a lashon of Shavua, I swear. She'egalcha lashamayim. I swear that I will shave you off for heaven's sake. I will shave off the hair. Miyad, says Shimon HaTzadik, Amadti v'nashaktiv al rosho. Right away, stood up. Shimon HaTzadik, it's Kohen Gadol, he stood up for him, and he kissed him on his head. Amarti lo beni, he said to my son, Kamocha yirbu nozre nezirot b'Yisrael. Many, many more nazirs should be like you. Alecha katuv omer, on you the pasuk says, there's a pasuk in the Torah, Ish ki yafli lindor neder nazir, a man that expresses to be a neder nazir, lehazir la Hashem, to be a nazir for Hashem with the right intention. This guy's, you're a tzaddik. You saw your reflection. You had the Yetzer Hara that came to you. You said, "Get out of here, Yetzer Hara. I'm shaving this off for Hashem. I don't want to be, taken over by my Yetzer Hara." Unbelievable. So this whole story came to answer how does it work? A nedava by nazir. That's the proper intention, like the story of Shimon HaTzadik. And that's why Shimon HaTzadik, this guy happened to become tameh for whatever reason. He said, this is the only one that I ate from. The Gemara is going to ask, like, okay, why not others? And let's see. Well, the obvious answer why not others is because maybe they didn't have the right intention. They became nazir for wrong intentions.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
do we know how he became Tameh?
No,
Doesn't say.
doesn't say how he became tameh. Now it could have been through a met mitzvah even. It could have been through a nazir. Well, you never know. A person, he could be talking to someone, the guy dies and falls on him. Whatever, it could be against his will. He became tameh.
So at the time he saw his reflection in the water, he was a Nazir, right?
When he saw his reflection in the water, no, he was not a nazir.
He was not a Nazir.
Would be nocturnal emissions or
That's what
something.
I understood.
Well, when he saw his reflection, he wasn't a nazir.
He had long hair, no?
Well, maybe he had long hair as it was, and then he said, "I'm gonna be a nazir,"
So why he's bringing
because he happened to become tameh. Meaning, the end of the nazir process is shaving off the hair.
Okay.
So he said,
I
Being
think
a
that's
Nazir
what
doesn't make
he
it
But
decided.
it's not the end.
That was the
What I
beginning of the
understood-
story.
What I understood is like he was Nazir when he saw his reflection.
That's what you understood?
"No, how could he be?" Then what's
He
the
became a Nazir
chidush?
because he saw
He saw his reflection. So I'm becoming a nazir.
He had a,
Now, a nazir, yes, you can't cut your hair or anything, but at the end of the story, I know I'm going to shave off everything.
That's what
And
I
therefore-
understood
Yeah. Okay, let's see further, then I'll answer the questions earlier. Matkif la Rabbi Mani. Rabbi Mani asks a question. Maishna Asham Nazir Tameh de lo achal. Why didn't he eat a Asham Nazir Tameh? De'ati al chet, which comes through a sin. Kol Asham bot nami lo lechol de al chet atu. Any Asham he shouldn't eat because it comes through a sin. Asham is a guilty, korban Asham. It all comes through sin. Now this one came through a sin. Maybe it came through a sin on purpose, a sin by accident. But he wasn't allowed to eat tameh. He became tameh. So why are you not eating those ones? Eat now. You're Shimon HaTzadik. You're Kohen Gadol. You eat all the other korbanot. Asham, Nazir, tameh. I don't eat, only except for this one guy. How about other ashams? If this came from a sin, maybe those also came from a sin. Amar le Rabbi Yonah. So Rabbi Yonah answers him. Hainu ta'ama kishehen tohin nozrin. Oh, sorry. Every other asham of a nazir, meaning asham of a nazir who didn't become tameh, also brings an asham. Those he would eat. Regular nazir he would eat, but of a nazir tameh he wouldn't eat. What's the difference? So Rabbi Yonah tells him, Hainu ta'ama kishehen tohin. What happens is when a person sins, nozrin, they become a nazir. They say, I'm not going to sin anymore. I'm going to be a nazir. Ukishen mitamein, and then what happens is when they become tameh, v'rabin alehen yamin nazirut, and now it increases the days of nazir because you have to start again. Mitcharetin bahem, they regret they became a nazir in the first place. They're like, okay, I sinned. I want to stop sinning. I'm becoming a nazir, and then they became tameh. And the rabbi said, by the way, you have to start again. What? I shouldn't have become a Nazir in the first place. That means that the korban that you brought maybe was mitcharatim, you did charata on the whole process. It's like as if you brought, not really, but it's as if you brought a animal that shouldn't have been a korban to the azara. Because you as if wanted to undo this whole thing.
Korban comes at the beginning, and then you become
At the
a
end.
Nazir?
No, at the end of the process. As we said, was that
So you're saying you're doing the end process by saying that maybe
even you're doing the beginning, you don't. I shouldn't have done this whole Nazir thing.
Right, but
So-
but the problem with that is the korban.
Yeah.
You're saying you're
So that
maybe
says then,
nullifying the korban.
you don't want to do that. That means you don't want to do any of this, right? Because this guy, he sinned for whatever. Now I'm going to become a Nazir. I'm going to strengthen myself. He became tameh. They told him, okay, bring a korban. He goes to bring a korban, and that's korban Nazir, Asham Nazir tameh. He said, by the way, start again. What? Start again? Another 30 days? I wish I wouldn't have done this whole Nazir thing in the first place. that means the korban you just brought, you kind of had charata on it. It's as if you brought now chulin lazara. And therefore, Shimon HaTzadik didn't want to eat any of the ones of Nazir, Asham, Tameh. But a regular Nazir, who didn't become Tameh, who finished his process, never regretted. Right? He didn't regret anything. He finished his process 30 days. Shalom al Yisrael. So that guy who was a Nazir, okay, he did it maybe for the right person, so he ate those ones. Let's finish up. If so, afilu Nazir tahor nami. Oh, how about a regular Nazir? Maybe he also would maybe regret, whatever. He didn't become Tameh, but you never know if his intentions. Nazir tahor lo. De amude amid nafshe de echol A regular Nazir, no. He holds himself that on his neder. When he says I'm going to be a Nazir for 30 days, and he makes it to 30 days, he held himself, and he's not going to regret anything because there's nothing to regret. Nothing's restarting, whatever. Meaning the Gemara's question was saying maybe at day 20, he might go, it's just 20 days already. It's too long, whatever it is. No, he knows mirosh. He knows at the beginning it's going to be 30 days long. He's not going to regret the whole 30 days. Now you add another 30 days. Forget it. I'm going to regret. But he could hold himself that whole way. So that's why he would eat from a regular Nazir and not from an Asham Nazir Tameh. So the Maharsha points out, why did I have to say that he was a ro'eh to his father and that he came from the Darom? So he says the Darom was Talmidei Chachamim. And also he brings different connections that Darom was also the menorah was in the Darom. So we have it in the shul on the south side and it has to do with Chokhmah. This guy was a Talmid Chacham. And a Talmid Chacham, he says, and why did I have to say that he was a ro'eh for his father? He says he was a Talmid Chacham who had Kibud Avayim. Because a Talmid Chacham, maybe he didn't want to be a shepherd. His father needed him to be a shepherd. So he became a shepherd. And being a shepherd, you're humble. So he humbled himself to do Kibud Avayim. And he was a Talmid Chacham. So it's just kind of showing more that, and the Yetzer Hara, and he was good looking, and the Yetzer Hara came to him to knock him out. Even though he was a Talmid Chacham, even though he was humble, and even though he was going in his father's way, the still Yetzer Hara still came to try knocking him off, and that's why it's at those points. We just quickly glance at the runs if there's any point that I didn't speak out. Yeah, and this person on the Darom, he was so l'shem shamayim. Oh, so why did he eat only that one? Because this guy was so l'shem shamayim, even though it was another 30 days, right? So he said, why did he become a Nazir? I saw I want to shave it off at the end. So even though we're adding another 30 days, so you became Tameh, this guy's still a strong Nazir for the right reasons. She wanted to eat that one. That's why it was different than everybody else. Chazak u'baruch tiyeh. Many more mitzvot in your house, B'ezrat Hashem.